Hello everyone, it's me, Mitch. We are back again with our carefully curated list of best PC games for November 2022. As fall of 2022 is imminent, the final set of games of this year are making their appearances, including some of the very awaited titles. Without further ado, let's start with our first game. Coming in first, Call of Duty Warzone 2. Yes, the first-person shooter battle royale Warzone 2 is coming this month. It is the free-to-play battle royale Call of Duty game, which now includes some new modes, a new map, and aquatic combat. Mainly, it incorporates sandbox gameplay and AI enemies in something called DMZ mode, an extraction mode that sounds a lot like Escape from Tarkov. This shifts the game to kind of survival format by encouraging players to focus on collecting gear for your inventory and utilize those from match to match. One of the best things about Warzone 2 is that you can just download Warzone without downloading all the extra Modern Warfare stuff, which is a big deal. To summarize, if Warzone 2 can resist the temptation to go wild on cosmetics, emphasize optimization and bug fixes, it could be the long-lasting sequel.
The world is a van.
Up next, Evil West. This is a pretty darn cool-looking vampire-slaying third-person shooter set in the Old West. One of the most interesting aspects of Evil West is that it's a third-person shooter with a hack-and-slash genre-like feel. Maybe the developers have noted the influence of their creations, as their games are definitely not shooter-like. They've talked about how Devil May Cry and God of War are both big influences on the game, and we are there for that, like a third-person shooter that is the integrating genre bending ideas from those games. Also, there aren't really enough Old West games that really mess with the setting. Evil West really seems to do that in spades. Looks like a great game, and players can definitely look forward to playing it.
Whew, you didn't see that coming.
Next, Spider-Man Miles Morales. This series needs no introduction. Spider-Man games are just some really fantastic open-world games where you play Spider-Man. These have great combat, great story, do come with their own flaws, but still offer so much value in terms of what they are. The story of protagonist Miles Morales is a little bit shorter than the main Marvel Spider-Man game, but you could look at this as an expansion to another game, or like a short sequel. So if you haven't played any of the older Spider-Man games, you should probably start with those ones first, and then move on to this one. But yeah, these are all fantastic to look forward to playing on PC. Up next, Goat Simulator 3. Yes, the sequel to the original Goat Simulator. Of course, it is just as bizarre and silly, and even maybe not actually a goat simulator like you played before, as a goat. But you weren't doing goat stuff for the most part anyway. Instead, you were generally causing havoc, which is back, and it's been amped up. Graphics are way better. It is not going to give you a deep experience like its prequel, but in terms of chaos, it has so much more like tall goats, stripy goats, angry goats, and wacky goat variants, all customizable with ability-infused gear from horn to hoof. Be the goat you've always wanted to be. Next, Gungrave G.O.R.E. It's a sequel to actually some older games from 2002. This game tries to revamp the shooting aspects of those games. Again, Devil May Cry-like looking stuff. In terms of locales, this game is one where you mow down your enemies with tons of bullets, and then also implement close-range martial arts. As the titular gunslinger of the Resurrection, you play as the badass anti-hero of this game world, an ultimate killing machine brutalizing foes without mercy. Taking cover and retreating is not an option for Grave, as he only goes full steam ahead, preferably right through his enemies. It looks extremely fun, and we really don't see a lot in these sort of mid-tier surprise gems. Coming up next, Ship of Fools. It's a seafaring roguelike co-op game where you play the Fools, the only creatures fool enough to brave the sea. The great lighthouse that once protected the archipelago is broken, and a storm of malice and corruption is coming. Together, you and your shipmate will jump aboard the Stormstrider and make your voyage across the sea. Man the cannons, ready your sails, and protect your ship from sea monsters over multiple runs. In a nutshell, Ship of Fools is a game about blasting away your seaborne foes with mighty cannons as you defend your ship. Inspired by modern classic roguelike games and built for co-op, you'll want to bring your friend or partner on deck to enjoy enjoyable combat as you save the world from catastrophe. Next, IXION. It combines city building, survival elements, and exploration into a thrilling space adventure as you explore the stars. You are the administrator of the Tigan space station, charged with finding a new home for humanity. The station infrastructure, population management, exploration, survival, these responsibilities fall to you. Keeping the station fine is not as easy as you might think, as you constantly face hull breaches, overloaded power supplies, electrical fires. So you are pulled between maintaining hull integrity, bringing in new resources, and managing power consumption. You might also encounter other survivors, which you can bring into the fold of your mission. Next, Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. The game comes to us from Fat Shark, the developers of the Vermintide game series. This is kinda like a modified Vermintide series game, where in Vermintide it was mainly melee weapons, and now there is a mix of melee weapons and various projectiles. There's also a lot of great fantasy-like powers in the game and a character creator, so in this version of the game you can actually have some control over who you are. In terms of plot, it seems like a live service game like Destiny 2. However, Vermintide is one of the cool games, and if you've watched footage of this game, it looks like all the best stuff about Vermintide set in the 40K era. Honestly, we expect it to be a quite good Vermintide experience. Up next, Harvestella. It's an all-new life simulation RPG from Square Enix, where you lead a life of self-sufficiency with your vibrant house as a base and cooperate with allies to overcome various threats. But there is a twist called Quietus, a disaster that visits with the changing of each season, threatening to all life. And each year, it persists for longer and longer. There is a pretty big world map to travel with many settlements and their respective dungeons. As for your daily life, you can grow fruit, vegetables, and crops in your fields to either sell or use as crafting materials. You can also pet birds, goats, or a totokaku, if you know what it means. The combat system is also good, featuring classic classes like Fighter, Assassin, and everyone's favorite, the Mage. Last but not least on our list, the Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me. Lastly, we have The Devil in Me from the finale of the first season of the Dark Pictures Anthology. For the unfamiliar, it is a series of standalone horror games that take place in a single universe developed by Supermassive Games. The plot is that a crew of documentary filmmakers receive a call that invites them to this replica of the Murder Castle. In-game, you can run, climb, crawl, and actually jump over gaps and obstacles. Also, if you see any monsters out there, there's also a hiding mechanic which was not present before. Some light puzzles are there is an inventory system too, and all in all, it looks like a good addition to what we've seen in previous Dark Pictures Anthology titles. And with these great picks of fall 2022, we wrap up our list of best PC games to play in November 2022. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and make sure you have subscribed to check out our future videos. See you guys.